A very good morning, good afternoon or good evening to all my dear students. Welcome back to my channel Enjoy Learning. You all must be very excited to know that how it is possible to learn such a large number of questions in just 20 minutes. But that's not misleading, that's really true. In this video, I am going to tell you all the possible varieties of questions that are really very likely to come in your board examinations. So, watch my video till the end. But before beginning, let me remind you of two things. You have to be tension free throughout the lecture and be attentive. So let's begin with a trick 1 for type 1. So the first type of questions that you will come across are find the principal values of the following. For example, in the first one, sine inverse minus 1 by 2. You have to find the principal value of this inverse trigonometric function. So you all must be knowing how to solve this problem if you have watched the preceding videos of this chapter. So let's see what's the trick in this question. First step is you have to let the function as y. Okay, then the next step, the sine inverse function, when you take it from LHS to the RHS, it will become sine y. So next what will happen? You will get minus 1 by 2 is equal to sine y. The inverse got removed and the sine function got attached to y, sine y. Now, when is psi 1 by 2? Sine is 1 by 2 at sine pi by 6. So, sine is minus 1 by 2 at minus sine pi by 6. So, now, you have to find the value of y. See? Sine inverse minus 1 by 2 is y. So how will you find the value of y? When you will make this function and this function identical. But firstly you have to remove this negative sign. So here you will use an identity which is sine minus x is equal to minus sine x. Have you remembered this property? Sine minus x is equal to minus sine x. So in place of minus sine pi by 6, you can write sine minus pi by 6. So here you are getting sine y as equal to sine minus pi by 6. So you can say that y is equal to minus pi by 6. But what's the trick in this question? You have to remember that you have to find such a value of y so that it lies in the principal value branch of the function. Whenever you have to find the principal value, you have to keep in mind the principal value branch of that inverse trigonometric function. So for sine inverse, the principal value branch is from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So since minus pi by 6 lies in the principal value branch, then only you can say that y is equal to minus pi by 6. Why? Because it lies in the principal value branch of sine inverse function, which is from minus pi by 2 means minus 90 to plus 90. Let's see the other example. Cot inverse minus root 3. Same here also. The first step is you have to let the function. Then the second step is cot function. When you will take it from LHS to RHS, the inverse sign got removed and it will get attached to y. So cot y is equal to minus under root 3. Now, root 3. When is cot root 3? When theta is, you have root 3 at cot pi by 6. So minus root 3 at minus cot pi by 6. So now again you are having the property that minus cot pi by 6 is equal to cot minus pi by 6. But here you can't use this property. Why? Because the principal value branch of cot inverse function does not include negative values. It is from 0 to pi, means 0 to 180 degree. This. So you have to try some other tricks. So in such questions, for cot inverse function, cos inverse function and sec inverse function, wherever you will get this negative value and you have to remove this negative sign in order to get the value of y, that means in order to find the principal value, you have to use the graph system. Graph system I have also told in the previous lecture. So let's use the graph system for cot x. For cot x, cot is positive in first, negative in second, positive in third and negative in fourth quadrant. This is 2 pi. So the principal value branches of cot is from 0 to pi. So you have to find such value of y so that it lies between 0 to pi. That means either in the first or in the second quadrant. So from here you can say that cot pi minus x. See, pi minus something means cot will come in the second quadrant. It is equal to minus cot x. This is a property which you must have studied in class 11th. So this is the same what you are getting here. So minus cot x, in place of minus cot x you can write cot pi minus x. So you will do it here also. Minus cot pi by 6 is equal to cot pi minus pi by 6. What are you getting here? It is 5 pi by 6. So again you can say that, see, cot y is equal to cot 5 pi by 6. Means you can say that y is equal to 5 pi by 6. But first you have to check what? The principal value branch. Whether this value lies in the principal value branch or not. So it does lies. That's why you can say that y is equal to 5 pi by 6. So the trick involved in the type 1 questions is that you have to remember the principal value branch of the inverse trigonometric function whenever you are going to find the principal value. Remember the principal value branch. So let's see the trick 2 for type 2. So the second type of questions are of the form find the value of this, find the value of that. So here only value is written. But it should be understood to you that this value also refers to the principal value. You have to find the principal value of this function. Whatever the function is given, and if it is given in the question that you have to find the value of, then it should be understood to you that you have to find the principal value. And type 3 questions are those involving multiple inverse trigonometric functions. See, here you are getting 3 types of inverse trigonometric functions in just one question. So it's really very simple. You have to let them individually. First you let the tan inverse function. Tan inverse 1 is equal to y1. So what will you do? You will take tan inverse function from LHS to RHS and it will become tan. So when is tan 1? When y1 should be pi by 4. So you are solving this question separate in different parts. Okay, so you have taken the function, inverse trigonometric function individually and then let it. So can you say that y1 is equal to pi by 4? First you have to check the principal value branch. Why? Because here also you have to find the principal value of this function. So keep in mind the principal value branch. It is from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So you can say that y1 is equal to pi by 4, 45 degree, because it lies in the principal value branch, because it belongs to minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So let's solve the second part. Let cos inverse minus 1 by 2 is equal to y2. Let cos inverse minus 1 by 2 is equal to y2. So minus 1 by 2 is equal to cos y2. So cos is 1 by 2 at pi by 3. So minus 1 by 2 at minus cos pi by 3. So I have told you that in case of cot, cos and sec, whenever you will get a minus in this form, see, same minus here, you have to use the graph system, means you have to use these properties. So here the property involved is, I am not going to tell you by the graph, I am writing down the identity simply. Here for minus cos x, you can write cos. So first check in which quadrants cos is positive and in which quadrants cos is negative. So cos is positive in first and fourth quadrant and negative in second and third quadrant. And the principal value branch of cos x is from 0 to pi. So you have to find such value of y so that it lies in first or the second quadrant, because 0 to pi means from here to here. So cos is negative. So in place of minus cos x, you can write cos pi minus x. Pi minus x means it will be the angle in between, in the second quadrant, pi minus something. So cos is negative in the second quadrant. So in place of minus cos pi by 3, you can write cos pi minus pi by 3. It is cos 2 pi by 3. So can you say that since cos y2 is equal to cos 2 pi by 3, can you say that y2 is equal to 2 pi by 3? First check the principal value branch. In the principal value branch from 0 to pi, 2 pi by 3 lies. Therefore, you can say that y2 is equal to 2 pi by 3. Now, let's take up the third function, which is sine inverse minus 1 by 2. So it is the same as example 1. Let it as y3. So what is the value of y3? It is minus pi by 6. So once you have solved these three inverse trigonometric functions separately, now add or subtract them. What is given in the question? You have to add them up. Means this is y1, this is y2 and this is y3. So y1 plus y2 plus y3 is pi by 4 plus 2 pi by 3 minus pi by 6. It is, just solve it on your own. The value is 3 pi by 4. Okay. So have you understood the type 2 and type 3 questions? Type 2 is where you will only find the value of. But it should be understood to you that this value stands for the principal value. And type 3 questions are questions involving multiple inverse trigonometric functions. The trick used in those questions is you have to solve them separately and then you have to add them, subtract them, whatever is given in the question. So let's take up trick 4 for type 4. in this type of questions, you are getting an inverse trigonometric function and a trigonometric function together. So are you reminded of some properties which are of the similar type? So let's see what are they. Okay, so for this function, the property which is used is cos inverse cos x is equal to x. But you have to remember in this question, what is the trick to remember? You have to remember that in which range does the value of x must lie, so that this property could be used. So for cos x, x should be in between 0 to pi. So first you have to check that whether this angle is in between 0 to pi, then only you can use this property. In all these such properties, you have to remember the restriction on the value of x, that x should lie in between which values. Then only these properties are applicable. So since 2 pi by 3 lies in between 0 to pi, so you can say that cos inverse cos 2 pi by 3 is equal to 2 pi by 3. Why? Because it lies in between 0 to pi. So you have evaluated this function. Similarly, the second example is sine inverse sine 2 pi by 3. Here also, first you will check that whether this angle 2 pi by 3 lies in the principal value branch of sine. So for sine, you have a similar property. Sine inverse sine x is equal to x. But in this property, x should lie in between minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. So does 2 pi by 3 lies in this range? Let's check. Is 2 pi by 3 greater than pi by 2 or less than pi by 2? So this is done as follows. First, take 2 pi by 3 here and pi by 2 here. Just cross multiply the denominators with the numerators. So what you get here, in place of 2 pi by 3 means on the LHS you are getting 4 pi, and in place of pi by 2 means in the RHS you are getting 3 pi. So what is greater here? 4 pi is greater. So it indicates that the value that you have taken on the LHS, see, is greater than that on the RHS. So ultimately you get that 2 pi by 3 is greater than pi by 2. So this is the way how you can find that whether any value is given and you have to find whether it is greater than something or less than. You have to do the simple way. Take one on LHS, one on RHS, and then cross multiply, and then the procedure is here. So since 2 pi by 3 is greater than pi by 2, it is greater than pi by 2 means it does not lies in this range. So you can't use this property now. You have to use some other tactics. In place of 2 pi by 3, you can write pi minus pi by 3, isn't it? Now this you have to remember. This you will achieve by practicing only. In place of 2 pi by 3, you can write pi minus pi by 3. So now sine pi minus pi by 3. This is also a property, that sine pi minus x is equal to sine x. Okay. So here you have to do this. Sine pi minus 3 is equal to pi by 3. So now you can use this property. Why? Because pi by 3, 60 degree is less than 90 degree. It lies in this range. So you can use this property. That is sine inverse sine x is equal to x. It is equal to this pi by 3 because it lies in the principal value branch. Let's see trig 5 for type 5. In this type of question, again you are getting an inverse trigonometric function and a trigonometric function together. But here both of them are different. So now what to do? Don't get panic. Here also you have to use the same set of properties, but you have to do a bit of conversion. Let's see what you have to do. First, let this inverse trigonometric function. In this case it is tan inverse 3 by 4. Tan inverse 3 by 4. Let it be y. So you are getting 3 by 4 is equal to tan y. Now let's see what it has become. You have let tan inverse 3 by 4 as y. So in place of this, you can write y cos y. So what you have to find is, see, the question simplifies to a very great extent. You have to find the value of cos y when tan y is given. So cos y is, can you write cos y as 1 upon sec y? Yes, you can write. Then, so here again we have to use a property. You must have remembered this, that 1 plus tan square x is equal to sec square x. So in place of sec x, you can write under root 1 plus tan square x. This is what you have to do here. In place of sec y, you can write under root 1 plus tan square y. Now here, you are already having the value of tan y, so you can use it. 1 plus tan square y, that means 3 upon 4 square. So what it is? 9 upon 16. Now the next step is 1 upon under root 16 plus 9, it is 25. The reciprocal of this is under root 16 upon 25, which is 4 upon 5. So this is the value of this function. This is such a complicated function here, and you have simplified it. So the trick in the type 5 questions is that you have to let the inverse trigonometric function. That means the angle. And then the question gets simplified. It is cos y, and then you can use this procedure. Let's see example 2. Here again, what you have to do? Let the angle, that means the inverse trigonometric function. Now 3 by 5 is equal to cos y. Again, the question becomes, this is y, so it becomes sin y. You have to find the value of sin y when already cos y is given. So here also, you must remember this property. Sin square x plus cos square x is equal to 1. So in place of sin y, you can write 1 minus cos square y under root. Under root 1 minus cos square y. I'm telling you this step by step, even telling the simplest of the properties, just to make you understand this entire chapter thoroughly. So please pay complete attention. Cos square y is 9 upon 25. So here also it is 25 minus 9 upon 25, which is 16 upon 25. Under root, it is 4 upon 5. So the value of sine y is 4 upon 5. In place of y, it is value of sine cos inverse 3 by 5 is 4 upon 5. Okay, so these are the 5 types of questions that you are really going to come across in your pre-boards, internals and in the boards. And there are 5 more types which I am going to tell you in part 2 of this video. So these are the 5 tricks. Just watch the next video also, and this entire chapter will be clearly understood. Part 2 of this video, I will tell you how to solve the questions of type prove that and solve for x in the easiest way. So just please watch part 2 of this video. If you really like my video, then please like and share, and don't forget to subscribe my channel for the latest updates. Thank you. Take care.